up, cucks? It's time for the first video of Hatermania 2. Now, some of you might be confused, and maybe I'm to blame here. Maybe I counted wrong, but I believe this is the third Hatermania, but we started with Hatermania 0, motherfucks. You know when you're playing like an old video game, and you have like 3 lives, then you die 3 times, and it says 0 lives, but you're still alive because the life that you're playing counts as well. Those are extra lives, motherfucks. Just like these are extra videos. Extra videos means that we start with Hatermania 0. So welcome to video 1. I guess it should be called video 0, but we'll call it video 1 of Hatermania 2, motherfucks, because the first video, video 0, was that introduction that you probably just watched a second ago. You know what I'm saying? As usual, subscribe today if you haven't, motherfucks. And since I got my internet back, it's time for us to do some subscriber shout-outs and things of that nature. Before we get ahead of ourselves, pin this bitch, motherfucks. Now, let's see. Probably gonna miss a few of you, but I think I'll get to it, you know? Gotta go back all the way to, like, what? Like a few days ago, at least? You know? Let's see here. That guy, I don't think I've talked about that guy. Haven't talked about him. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah, here we are. The last people we talked about were CM 2.0 and Technical Work Rate Productions. Welcome, motherfucks. And since then, we've had like over 10 or 15 subscribers, but just a few of them have shown up here in names. So we got D-Mac. Welcome, D-Mac. The Amazing Jarmond 66, which I believe, I might be confusing with another Jarmond who subscribed to me. I don't know. Then we have Easy Ace. That's E, and then Z, and then Ace, motherfuckers. Then we got, what else we got here? We got Paulo Uloa, or maybe Paulo Ulloa. I don't know. But welcome nonetheless, motherfucker. And then we got AJ Soprano, AJ Soprano, and Danny Langolier. Man, what the fuck? Why has everyone's got some of these weird-ass names that I can't pronounce? I'm usually good at pronouncing names, but not this time, motherfucks. Then we got GamerAth5, motherfucks. Then we got Moses A. Hooper with a Cristiano Ronaldo picture. Good for him. Ronaldo's good. Better than Messi, motherfucks. Inmate 640 is another new subscriber. I think that's it for now. I know a few people wrote like, hey, I just subbed, and I'm sorry if I missed you guys. Please, if you'd like a shout out, leave a comment down below, pin this bitch. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the real heart of the matter here, motherfucks. And forgive me, I'm going to be a little bit off for these first videos, I think, because I feel like the acoustics of this apartment are different. You know, like I feel like an echo. My apartment now is actually a little bit bigger than my old one, but I don't know. It feels weird, so I might be a little bit self-conscious, you know what I'm saying? So now we're going to talk about what is on everyone's minds, right? Let's be real. It's WrestleMania season, motherfucks. No matter what happens, we have WrestleMania to look forward to. And you know what? I think life has dealt us a pretty weird hand this year. You know, I don't just mean in terms of wrestling, but I mean in terms of life. You know what I mean? Shit's closing down left and right. This coronavirus panic is not going away anytime soon. So it's time to accept the facts as they are, right? Wrestling will be in closed arenas, and WrestleMania will not feel like WrestleMania. For that reason, and a few other ones, motherfuckers, that we're going to get to right now. All right, first of all, let's start with the obvious, right? This is WrestleMania 36, too big for just one night, right? Now, the implications of this are that the reason that it's 2 nights has nothing to do with the coronavirus or the fact that they can't have too many people at the same place at the same time, but it's 2 nights because one night cannot contain this WrestleMania, right? Now, the problem with this is this. Thus far, and I understand, this is thus far, right? Like, things are going to change. You know, there's still like one entire week, and then the rest of this week as well, until WrestleMania. So I know things are going to change, but let's be real. You can't call it too big for just one night, right? And have a total of, let's see, 13 matches announced. When last year's WrestleMania had, let's see here, motherfucks. Let's get that Wikipedia article. There we go. 16 matches in last year's WrestleMania. Granted, 4 of these motherfucks were pre-show matches, you know what I mean? But they were matches nonetheless, right? So this year's WrestleMania has only 13. Last year's had 16. So how can this one be too big to contain? Like, what's so big about it? You know what I mean? It sure as shit ain't the arena. It sure as shit ain't the crowds, which are going to draw 0 motherfucks. Impact Wrestling is drawing more than WrestleMania. Did you ever think you'd say that in your life? I didn't think so either, but there we are, motherfucks. So there you go, you know. We only have 13 matches here. Now, 13 matches normally would be a lot of matches. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this is like a shitty card because it only has 13 matches. There's other reasons why it's a shitty card, but the fact that it has 13 matches, like for a normal WrestleMania, like if we were to let's look at, for example, I don't know, the card of WrestleMania, let's go with 24. Fuck it, I'm just picking it randomly, right? WrestleMania 24. How many matches did this WrestleMania have? You know what I mean? Looks like it had 10 matches, and one of them was like a Battle Royal pre-show match. So 9 matches. So like that's not a small amount of matches for WrestleMania, but it is a small amount of matches for a 2-day WrestleMania, right? Because I mean, I think a lot of people don't like these all-day WrestleManias that start at like 4 p.m. with the coverage, and then you have to like, you know, meet up with your friends or whatever it is that you're doing, or if you're gonna watch it at a bar, you gotta go early, you know, that kind of shit, right? So I think a lot of people aren't fans of that. And I don't just mean WrestleMania, but even in football, right? Like Super Bowl Sunday, it's like an all-day event. Just shut the fuck up. Just show me the game. I don't give a rat's ass how Tom Brady got there. You know what I mean? Just fucking show me the game, asswipe. But anyways, but despite that, if you're gonna divide it in 2, I expect each WrestleMania, like each part of this WrestleMania, to be like a standalone show, like the caliber of a standalone show. You know, you have to have at least 7 or 8 matches for me in that one first day and then the second day. You know what I mean? You could fuck around. You could have, let's say, 10 matches the first day and they're a little shorter, and then on the second day have like the main event matches and really make them awesome. You know what I mean? You could do that. That's possible too. But in other words, I need something, man. You know what I'm saying? I need something here to catch my attention, right? I need a reason to tune in. If we stay at 13 matches, and let's say the first night you have 6 matches, and you have like 5 bullshit ones, and then like John Cena versus The Fiend in the end, I might not even watch that. I mean, of course, I'm going to watch it, but a casual viewer, taking that into account, there's no crowd, there's no atmosphere, a casual viewer might just not watch it. So it's very important that they add a few matches, right? This is an opportunity to silence some of the haters, like your boy, you know what I'm saying? This is an opportunity to have a match. So, for example, like include some NXT matches that you were going to have in the NXT TakeOver, right? Include that in here. You know, have like Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano, right? That's a match that's like a little bit bigger, you know, than like NXT. Like that's something that could happen. That could be like a mid-card match in the main roster, you know, considering that it's like a feud that's going on forever. Now, obviously, I've lost all interest in the feud, but you know what I'm saying, right? There's no reason not to add that match into this. You were planning on doing it anyways, right? Like, all that's happened is you've canceled NXT Portland and are now just calling that night 1 of WrestleMania. But have 1 or 2 NXT matches. Like, if you're gonna have 2, have 2. You know what I'm saying? It also fits in well because you already have Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship. You have that at WrestleMania, at the actual WrestleMania. You know what I mean? So it's okay to just add 2 matches. Just do Adam Cole and whoever the fuck he's wrestling. I guess it's Velveteen Dream. Like, have that or something. Basically have a match for the NXT Championship and then have Ciampa versus Gargano, right? And if you have time, do an NXT tag match, you know, but like you really don't have time for that. So that's kind of the idea here, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like the idea that should be happening. Like, that's what should be happening. Like, they should do as much as they can, have as many matches as possible. I mean, if need be, just have people have a match and then leave the arena, right? To fit the guidelines or something, you know what I mean? Do something, right? Do something. Have an actual awesome show. There's an opportunity here, right? With production costs being low, any kind of event that they planned on having, like if they plan on having some sort of like concert element, like they had Kid Rock that one year, or they had P. Diddy the year before, or whatever it was, right? Like you're not going to do that now. There's no audience, right? So just like focus on the wrestling. This is an opportunity to focus on the wrestling and to prove that WWE has the best wrestlers, right? Because other companies, what they do, like ROH, let's say, right, for a long time, before people started liking New Japan, for all of you that are new to wrestling, you know, before people started pretending that all elite wrestling is the number 1, they thought that New Japan was number 1. And before that, they thought ROH was number 1. You know what I'm saying? So ROH, their entire focus was exactly on that. It was just on wrestling, right? There was no flashiness. There was no high production values. It was just a ring, a few people, and a match. right? So that's what WWE should strive to do. You know, capture that idea, right? Just be like, all right, under these circumstances, we will show you that not only are we like the company with the highest production value, but we're the company with the highest production value because we have the wrestling to back it up, right? Like it's going to be a hard sell, I know, but have John Cena and Bray Wyatt have an incredible match. Just be like, yo, you're getting 35 minutes, right? Have that match, right? Give people like Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre shorter matches because Brock Lesnar's not going to, he's not going to want to do it. I mean, you have things like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. That match has no reason to be more than 5 minutes, in my opinion, right? Give the shit wrestlers 5-minute matches. You know what I mean? Get like John Morrison and The Miz. That's a pre-show match. Put that on the pre-show. You know what I'm saying? The Street Profits, in any capacity, that's a pre-show match. Put that on the pre-show. On the real card, have matches and have them be long, right? And meaningful. You know, have them be good matches. Basically, is what I'm saying, right? And to compensate the few good matches you're going to have, take this opportunity that you have 2 nights to showcase some people that you don't typically showcase, right? How about this? Here, I've booked a match for you motherfucks, all right? Lucha House Party, right? 6-man tag, motherfucks. Lucha House Party versus Apollo Crews, Tozawa, and fucking pick another cruiserweight. Let's go with Davari. Fuck it, why not, right? Have these, and have them have like an incredible match, right? Where people like Apollo Crews are being showcased, right? Tozawa's doing crazy shit. Lucha House, but just have like a nice 20-minute, like 6-man tag that rivals like a Dragon Gate level match. You know what I'm saying? These are all Dragon Gate guys, as far as I know, right? I'm pretty sure Apollo Crews was in Dragon Gate, and you had like fucking, I'm sure there's like a few cruiserweights in the cruiserweight division, like Tozawa, for example, obviously was in Dragon Gate. Have these guys, Dragon Gate would have like incredible 6-man matches. Have them do that, you know what I mean? Just give them 30 minutes and be like, yo, this is just like, call it a showcase match, right? Do something, right? Just to give a spot to these people and have them be impressive, you know what I mean? People will talk about it, and the smarts will be like, oh man, WWE, oh, Apollo Crews, he's really good, you know? And that kind of shit. Just for a couple of weeks, I'm not saying push Apollo Crews to the moon. I'm saying give them a showcase. You have the time now. You don't have the excuses, you know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see fucking Rhea Ripley. Really, nobody wants to see that, man. Like, especially with no crowd, I have to tolerate Rhea Ripley? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, Rhea Ripley's great. No, she's not. She's like 23. She's been wrestling for like 3 years. Whatever happened to, quote unquote, paying your dues, motherfuckers? How come Gronk and the hater have to pay their dues, but Rhea Ripley, who's like 22 or 23, can just come into a main event level match at WrestleMania? You know what I'm saying? When she doesn't pay her dues? What the fuck are you talking about? She's been wrestling like 3 weeks, and 2 of them were in like Ireland or some bullshit, or like Australia, where the fuck she's from. I think Australia, right? They're wrestling in Australia like against like Shane Thorne or some other jobber, you know what I'm saying? Nobody gives a fuck. So that's what I'm saying, man. Give this opportunity to people that haven't had an opportunity. You might be surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, what would be a more entertaining match if taken seriously, if given 25 minutes? Like, what would be more entertaining? The match that I just described, Lucha House Party versus Davari, Tozawa, and fucking Apollo Crews. No storyline in this match. It's just a showcase match. It's just like a 6-man match. Whatever happens, happens, right? What's more entertaining, that or Kevin Owens and Rollins? Well, honestly, what would you rather see? You've already seen Kevin Owens and Rollins do absolutely nothing with their lives for the last year. They've done nothing. Kevin Owens has accomplished 0 for the last like 5 years, man. This guy sucks. I can't believe he's not fired yet, you know? What would you rather see? I think my match is more entertaining. The wrestlers in my match are better wrestlers than Kevin Owens. Yeah, Seth Rollins is a good wrestler, but Kevin Owens, I mean, there's nothing. This guy brings nothing to the table anymore. You know what I mean? Like the novelty of being Kevin Owens is gone. You know what I mean? Like, he's still fat. You know, he still has no charisma, and his promo delivery style is such that he needs a crowd, because he'll make like a dad joke, like dad joke level humor, but he thinks it's like better than a dad joke, right? And then the crowd, because they're idiots, they'll be like, oh, Kevin Owens said something. I'm a fat ass like him, so I'll laugh. You know what I mean? But this like no audience shit is gonna expose motherfucks, man. It's going to expose motherfucks, and that's the best part about like the fact that they're not having any audiences. People are going to be exposed. You know, the same way that I enjoyed AEW last week, right? I didn't watch Raw because I was still in my move. I didn't have TV or anything like that, right? But I did read about it, and all I saw was like, it's like, oh, here's like, it was like Elias versus like Brandon Huff or some like unheard of jabrones. You know, I'm like, dude, come on, like get it together. I understand WrestleMania is around the corner, but get it together, man. You know what I mean? Like, do something good, you know? So now I'd like to move past this point of having more matches and having meaningless matches, but that have some sort of pseudo meaning in the greater scheme of things, right? Like at least the meaning of like my 6-man proposition is that you're showcasing people that haven't been showcased. You know, what's the meaning behind Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins? It's the worst feud, I think, of all time. You know what I mean? Like, what does it matter if Kevin Owens finally beats Seth Rollins? Oh, Owens finally beat Rollins. He proved himself. He proved what? He's been getting his ass whooped for 3 months. He beat him once. Oh, feud's over. Owens wins the feud. Like it matters. It doesn't matter who wins the feud unless winning the feud elevates you somehow. And no one can be elevated by beating mid-card Rollins or beating undercard or lower mid-card Kevin Owens. Let's be real, man. This is like a mid-card match, right? That is being presented as an upper mid-card match. Like in the Attitude Era, this would be for the European title. Actually, no. Both of these guys would be fighting Crash Holly in like a ball pit for the hardcore title. That's what would happen. That's how low the caliber is now. So anyways, now we're going to go through all the matches one by one as they are listed on the Wikipedia article. And I'm going to tell you guys what's wrong with these matches. All right, the first match they got here on the list is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. And there are so many things wrong with this. Number one, Charlotte Flair chose to wrestle Rhea Ripley for some reason, right? Even though Charlotte Flair is like one of the first NXT Women's Champs, she won the Royal Rumble, right? She should go after Becky Lynch, who beat her last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joe, I never beat Rhea Ripley. Yeah, you lost to Becky Lynch last year in the most important women's match of all time. You know what I'm saying? You took the pin, I believe, right? Or maybe Ronda Rousey took a pin. I don't remember. I don't really care. You know, the point is, it was a stupid choice. Secondly, Rhea Ripley. I know everyone's supposed to like Rhea Ripley, right? But like I said earlier, if people like to hate her and people like fucking Gronk, like two amazing motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Hater and Gronk, tag team champs, right? If these two motherfuckers have to pay their dues, how come no one says this about Rhea Ripley? How come Rhea Ripley doesn't have to pay her dues? You know, how come the smarts like Rhea Ripley? You know, it's the weirdest thing ever. They're like, oh, Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens paid their dues in the indies. Cena didn't pay his dues. You know what I'm saying? Well, what about Rhea Ripley that all the smarts love? You know, she doesn't, why is she immune from this? Is it because she's somewhat masculine and this turns the smarts on because they're sexually confused? What could it be? I don't understand. You know, now I happen to like Rhea Ripley, but I'm consistent, motherfuckers. I like her and I don't think she has to pay her dues because I think the concept is outdated and, in my opinion, half retarded. You know what I'm saying? So I also like Charlotte Flair. I mean, when I say like, let's be real. I like them in the context of women wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're probably like the two that I would, like, this match out of all the women's matches is the one that I would tolerate the most. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in the other two women's matches, I'm planning to take a big shit and a big piss on the Rhea Ripley Charlotte Flair match. I might make myself a coffee. I might do something where I'm half watching. You know what I mean? That kind of shit, right? So that match, aside from the fact that it's for the NXT Women's Championship, which is a meaningless title that was ejaculated on by at least Brad Maddox and probably Xavier Woods. You know what I'm saying? So that match, in my opinion, doesn't matter for that reason. It's the most tolerable of the women's matches, but let's be real, it ain't that good of a match either. Then we've got Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. This feels like a main event. It does. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. Anything with Brock Lesnar, the way he's been booked, feels like a main event. But the problem here is this, and I know it's gonna sound petty and retarded, but I'm gonna say it. The fact that Drew McIntyre squashed, I haven't gotten over it, motherfuckers. The fact that he squashed Eric Rowan's spider with steel steps pisses me off. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the fact that he did that and he wasn't like treated like a heel. You know what I'm saying? Michael Vick fights a few dogs. Yeah. Michael Vick fights a few dogs and it's a huge deal. You know what I'm saying? Which I never understood, by the way. What Michael Vick did was fucked up. But it's like all of a sudden people are like, yo, he should be killed. Well, relax, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a human being at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So, but like when Drew McIntyre kills a spider, haha, it's all fun and games, right? So for that reason, I now want, I hate to say it, I think it makes more sense for Brock Lesnar to win this match. I know people don't like that. People want to see like Brock Lesnar put over stars, but Brock Lesnar puts over a lot of stars now. Like in recent years, he's been putting over a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like people are like, oh, he's always champion. Yeah, he has like 5 matches a year and he loses one of them. He wins the other 4, so when he loses the one that he loses, it means something. You know, he put over Seth Rollins, who, you know, achieved nothing out of it, but you know, I honestly think that it would be a nice little swerve if Brock Lesnar beats Drew McIntyre. You know, Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania record is like, it's good, I think, but it's not stellar either. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has lost several times at WrestleMania in big profile matches. He lost to Goldberg. He lost to Seth Rollins. This is all relatively recent. It's like in his most recent run. You know what I mean? And he lost to Goldberg before. I think he beat Goldberg at WrestleMania, but he lost to Goldberg at WrestleMania 20. You know what I mean? So this idea of like Brock Lesnar never putting people over is kind of silly. It's just like when people say like, and honestly, I know that's another video. I was gonna talk about Triple H, but that's another video, which I'll probably do today as well. Next up, we have Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. Now, I haven't been watching SmackDown because for some reason I've been really busy like the last few Fridays. Not for no discernible reason. It's just like something would come up, and then I had to move this Friday and things like that. So I've been watching, but I mean, of course, I'm excited about Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. Now, this is a match that would be amazing if there was a crowd, but we can't do anything about it. It's for the Universal title. I expect Roman Reigns to win this match. Am I excited for it? Not particularly. You know, I think Roman Reigns is like quote unquote a good wrestler in the sense that I could see why they want to make him the top guy, but I find him to be very boring. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the Superman punch. The spear's cool, but I don't like the Superman punch. You know, he doesn't have any like actual wrestling moves in the sense that he doesn't throw people around. I mean, he has like a little power bomb type of thing here and there, but you know, he hasn't elevated his game, if you will, right? So, for example, when Cena started getting accused of doing like the 5 moves of doom, he started doing like that move where he gets the guy in like a fall-away slam position and then spins him around into a facebuster, also known as the Doi Fives, motherfucks, from Dragon Gate. He started doing that. Cena started doing a dropkick. He started doing a Hurricane Rana. He started doing like a fucking, like a Code Red powerbomb. You know what I mean? He started doing a sit-up powerbomb. He started doing all these things, right? He started doing that like corner clothesline where he just waits in the corner and like hulks up a little bit and does like a running clothesline, you know, which was like a spot move, but a move. He started doing a springboard stunner. You know, like some of these moves didn't look that great, but the point I'm trying to make is he tried to elevate himself. You know, he would do like more avalanche attitude adjustments. He did like the rolling attitude adjustment to AJ Styles. He tried to elevate himself. Roman Reigns, he still has 2 moves. And I don't care. It's okay if you have 2 moves. You know, Nakamura has 2 moves, but nobody seems to care about that. You know what I'm saying? Finn Balor has 2 moves. No one seems to care about that. But when Roman Reigns has 2 moves, it's boring. And I kind of get it. I get why it's boring because Roman Reigns, he's too stoic. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of a boring guy. You know what I mean? Like Roman Reigns is not this like super charismatic guy. I mean, he might be, but he's not portrayed as that. He's still portrayed as the silent guy in the Shield. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. They need to like really do something with Roman Reigns because it's getting stale. It's the same shit over and over again. Like at least Cena comes out and cut promos that got like legit heat or got legit reactions. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Roman Reigns has been doing this, and I just haven't been watching SmackDown. Who the fuck knows? You know what I'm saying? Next up, we have Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. Now, this is obviously the match that I care about the least. I couldn't give a fuck who wins this match. Becky Lynch is overrated. I don't like her. She should go do porn or something like that where her talents, because she is a beautiful woman, you know what I'm saying? Like where that can be useful because the way the WWE has treated her, and I don't mean to put it on the company because I think it's her fault, right? Where she's like, I'm the man. She's made herself masculine. Like I remember when I watched her in NXT, you know what I'm saying? Like I noticed her. I was like, oh my God, this is like the most attractive girl here, you know what I mean? And she was like a jobber in NXT, right? Then all of a sudden, it's like Bayley's getting pushed and Sasha Banks, who look like dogs, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking pigs. And then Becky Lynch doesn't get pushed. And then when she's on the main roster, she gets over in other ways other than being attractive, which is fine if those other ways were not cringy as fuck, motherfucks. I don't want another Conor McGregor. We just got the real one back, so I don't need this bullshit. Shayna Baszler, on the other hand, I don't know why no one mentions the fact that she is an old bag. You know what I'm saying? I'm not holding it against her, you know, not at all. I couldn't give a rat's ass, but Shayna Baszler is 39, motherfucks. 39. So, and she's a rookie, so we pretend that she's like younger than she is, kind of, you know what I mean? Whereas, for example, what's it called? Mickie James, right? Who's, I think, 40 right now, right? She's like a year older than Shayna Baszler. 3 years ago, the storyline was Mickie James is an old bag. You know what I'm saying? Well, how come this doesn't apply to Shayna Baszler? Mickie James at least is hot. You know what I'm saying? What does Shayna Baszler bring to the table? She's like a failed MMA star. You know, people are like, Shayna Baszler is a legit badass. No, she's not, motherfuckers. Let's look at her record real fast. I pulled up her Wikipedia just now to check her age, and she's 15-11, right? And she went off on her back, 4 losses in a row. In Invicta, which is an irrelevant MMA promotion, right? Then she made it to the UFC somehow, where she got knocked out by Bethe Correia from Brazil. And then she got knocked out by Amanda Nunes, also from Brazil, in first round. And then she got destroyed in a 2-round. Think about this, motherfuckers. In a 2-round fight, right? They didn't even have 3 rounds for her. There was a 2-round fight against some jobber named Reina Miura, which I think is Japanese. And so there you go. 15-11. So this idea, she's got knocked out by like Chris Cyborg. She's just been knocked out left and right. Choked out, knocked out, beaten bloody, you know what I mean? She's beaten absolutely no one. Like, there's no one here. Like, I just picked up two people. One person, Reina Mura, that beat her, right? And her record is 11-3. That's actually not a bad record, but she's been fighting in like the jobber leagues of Japan. You know, it's not even like, and plus everybody knows MMA in Japan is usually fixed. Then we have she beat some woman named Julie Kedzie, who is a complete jobber. She's like, let's see, 16-13. So fucking Shayna Baszler is not this bad broad. She has like a 50-50 record. That means half the women that try to do MMA are better than her. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no room for elite players in women's MMA because there's only like 100 women in the world that give enough of a shit to do it, right? Let's say 1,000, right? If you're 18 out of 1,000, that's not that impressive. Right? Like, if you take John Cena and you take 1,000 people from a random gym, he's going to be bigger than all of those motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the fact that she's, you know, she's like a legitimate MMA wrestler, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. Nobody likes her. Get out of here, Shayna Baszler, you know? But I do hope she wins. Actually, I don't even know. I don't even give a shit, you know? Who cares? Then we have Cena versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt. In my opinion, this is a complete waste of time for John Cena. You know, you have wasted John Cena here, you know, in an attempt to get two great matches, right? In an attempt to get two great matches, they've made John Cena and The Fiend and Goldberg and Roman Reigns, when the clear match should be Cena Goldberg and Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. That would have made one incredible match and then one like decent Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns match that, like, you know, would feel like an upper mid-card match. You know, now they've ruined two matches. John Cena is too good for this bullshit. I don't think he needs to be like, I hope he beats The Fiend, and I hope he buries The Fiend permanently. That's what I hope happens, you know what I'm saying? Then we have Bayley versus Lacey Evans versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks versus Tamina for the SmackDown Women's title, and this will be a fatal 5-way elimination match. Now, here's the problem with this. We just had the Elimination Chamber for Raw, right? And now at WrestleMania, we're having a fatal 5-way elimination match. And in this match, people like Tamina, who haven't been on TV in like 3 years, right, are in this match. So what the fuck is the point of having a women's Royal Rumble, right? If people like Tamina and Lacey Evans can make it to, you know, WrestleMania basically for the title, like Tamina can become champion now, motherfuckers. I mean, obviously she's not going to win, but Tamina's there, right? So she could be champion. Why would anyone even want to participate in the Royal Rumble when you have like a random chance of just being in an elimination match at WrestleMania for the title if you're Tamina? Get the fuck out of here. That makes no sense whatsoever, you know? But that being said, I like elimination matches in general because you see a lot of finishers, things like that. This one I'm not excited about, obviously, but it's something that I'd like to see more so than at least the Becky Lynch Shayna Baszler match. Next up, we have Undertaker versus AJ Styles. Over here it says a singles match, but I believe AJ Styles challenged him to a boneyard match. Now, I think the reason they're doing this is so they can tape it like tomorrow, you know what I mean? And then just have something to show at WrestleMania so that, like, you know, and they'll say it's live, but like they'll show the match, you know, and it'll be something like in a graveyard, you know, it'll be like, it's kind of smart, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's like one less thing to worry about, you know? So, I don't know what a boneyard match is, but on WWE.com, when I was reading the results for Raw, it said that like AJ Styles challenged Undertaker to his signature match, the boneyard match. And I'm just like, what? I've never heard of this match before in my life. And it's already Undertaker's signature match? Why? Because it involves a graveyard? Get the fuck out of here. This match, if they do it like that, it might actually be good because they can edit things out. They can try things more than once if they film it, you know? That actually might be kind of fun. But at the same time, it's not going to feel like a wrestling match, so who the fuck cares? Next up, we have Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins in WrestleMania's Who Gives a Rat's Ass match of the 2 nights, I suppose. I don't care at all about this. I will skip this 100%. I will switch to play video games while this garbage is happening. Or I will make myself a new hookah or something like that. I don't know. I will use this time well, motherfucks. Then we have The Miz and Morrison versus To Be Determined, which would be a great tag team name, don't you think? But basically, it'll be the winner of the New Day and the Usos. Once again, motherfucks, they have this entire Elimination Chamber match, and then all of a sudden, all you need to do to make it to WrestleMania is be the Usos or be the New Day and win your match against the other team. That's all you need. You win 2 matches, you win 1 match, you're in the WrestleMania card for the titles, right? It's going to be Kofi and Big E because I don't really see Kofi not being part of WrestleMania, considering that last year he was fucking, what's it called? In the main event. How far has he fallen, and Rollins as well? They really made no stars last WrestleMania. In hindsight, last WrestleMania is going to go down as one of the worst ones. Other than Triple H Batista, like what was there to look forward to? No Undertaker match. Cena didn't have a match. The main event was garbage. The 2 title matches were shit because nothing came from them. So there you go. I think, yeah, last WrestleMania, worst one. Anyways, next, and this is on WrestleMania, motherfuckers. Keep in mind, at WrestleMania, we have the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Oh my God, I can't even believe this is happening. This feels like a Monday Night Raw opening match. This does not feel like a WrestleMania match at all. Now, I get it. It's for the tag team championships, and it's being presented as the inferior tag team titles because, like, the other team has better stars. But let's be real. I couldn't give a shit about this. No one cares. I would have preferred Andrade versus Angel Garza versus Humberto Carrillo and versus Rey Mysterio in a 4-way for the title, but my friend told me that Rey Mysterio is quarantining himself because he may have been exposed to the coronavirus. Hopefully he's all right, motherfuckers. Next up, we have Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. All right. I don't know why this match is happening. I don't care about this match. I don't give a rat's ass who wins. It's going to be Aleister Black probably, but I don't like that. I don't see why Aleister Black is better than Bobby Lashley, other than the fact that he's younger. But he's not even like much younger. I mean, he's like 7 years younger, but Aleister Black is in his like mid-30s. You know, he's not just like up and comer. You know what I mean? So either pull the trigger or don't. Motherfucks. Then we have Elias versus King Corbin in another SmackDown level match. This was like a match that a few years ago was in NXT, and in NXT it was a jobber match. So there you go. And then finally we have the only match that I'm actually really looking forward to, and that's Edge versus Randy Orton. This match should close the show, honestly. I don't even think there should be any doubt. Like, none of these other matches feel big enough. Even Drew versus Brock doesn't feel big enough. Edge versus Orton feels big enough. That should be the last match. So there you have it, motherfucks. This video went on a little long because we had a lot to talk about. Yeah, and also because I missed the Raw review yesterday. So kind of like when I said like I'm back or whatever in the other video, I've only been gone for technically 1 day because like yesterday I would have made a video, but I just didn't watch Raw. So that's the only... I haven't really gone anywhere, motherfuckers. I made my Gronk video a few days ago. So there you go. Stay tuned for more Hater Mania up in this bitch, motherfuckers.